Hi there. We're going to give this a try again. I have been playing with my phone and playing with my phone to see what's going on. Oh, welcome to 'Tis the Season. I have been frustrated all week. I don't know why, out of the blue, my phone decided that it only wanted to give me 11-minute long videos. And at first I thought, well, you little stinker, well, I'll just make 3 and edit them together. But if I made an 11-minute long video, then the next time when I restarted it, it would give me 8 minutes, and then it would give me 5 minutes. And I checked my memory, I even have an extra memory card in the phone. I cleared out all I phoned Samsung and said, what's going on? And they said, we're stumped. Well, great, you're a lot of help. Anyhow, one of the things suggested that maybe the phone was overheating, which doesn't make sense to me. I've been using this phone for 2 years. It's not that old. It's a Galaxy Note 10. It's all I use it for is basically for the camera. I don't use it for, it's not my actual phone. This is my phone. But this phone doesn't have the Movie Maker that's associated with the camera, whereas this one, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, has what's called the Movie Maker in with the camera, which allows me I can do edits in my camera, in the phone, without having to resort to purchasing an app or using the horrible one that YouTube provides. I don't know about you. It's terrible. The YouTube editor, it's terrible to work with, and it takes hours to see if you are happy with what you've done to edit it. Anyhow, so I'm going to just finish my belly aching and get on with this and see how far we can go. I can see the timer in my screen. And I guess I'll see whether it lets us get through this or not. I have a little dog here who has we had her to the vet last week because we thought she had a urinary tract infection. Turned out it was an infection in her private areas. Not to go into too many details, but it's not the pee area, it's the poop area. And her, you know what? There's a lot of dog lovers out there. She had an infected anal gland. So $600 later, and 2 different antibiotics that she needs to be on because they had to test it for bacterial growth. And sure enough, she had 2 different kinds of bacteria. And now, today she's decided to go on a food strike. And one of the medications I can't give without food. Since she's been sick, she decided chicken's delicious because she's been sick. In order to get anything into her, I will give her boiled chicken breast. And so now, guess what she just wants all the time and nothing else is boiled chicken breast. Oh my goodness. So we shall see who wins this war. She can't go. Who knows how long she can go without eating or drinking. I've made some. I just did some watercolor sort of flowy stuff with earthy colors on watercolor paper, both sides. So I'm thinking that that might make, I might draw some leaves on and cut those out to put them along edges. I'm thinking about doing that. But in the meantime, I'm still loving this for a front page. But as you can see, here's the first signature. It's not quite wide enough. Don't want to resort to lace with this. I don't know. I'm not feeling lacy. So I think I'm going to, now I don't mind using this red because first of all it looks ratty. So it looks like something, you know, a squirrel could find and maybe put in their nest. And then second of all, I plan on fussy cutting the holly and putting it onto the front page. So I think that's what we will do for the opening page. I don't plan on having too much, I don't think, hanging out over the edge. Because the journaling board that I want to create. So what I'm going to do is I would like to I'd like to just put this on, ruffle it a tiny little bit, but have it look ratty. Come on, you. Have it look kind of ratty. She's in a good mood. Back to Kirby, back to the little diva. Happy as a lark today, but I don't know how long she can go on her food strike. Fortunately, we have a wonderful vet who will just say, bring her over. So, you know, we'll see. I'll call in the morning if she hasn't eaten by the morning. They do say they can go quite a while. So, but I don't want her to go too long. She's, you know. So I'm just doing the little pinch technique and kind of in a not very neat and tidy way. And I used 3-in-1 so that it will really, really stick. Yeah, that's good. Now, I'm going to, down here, anyhow, I hope you're all doing well. If you all have holiday plans, I hope they're coming along well. We're really low-key this year. Honest to goodness, I usually have my tree up and all kinds of things out and even my bell snickles. And I gotta tell you, for some bizarre reason, just not in the mood this year. So I got a few little things out just so that we don't look like complete Scrooges if somebody comes by to visit. We got a wreath on the front door, and we've got a little indoor-outdoor Christmas tree on our porch, so the house looks festive outside. And inside, you know, I got a couple of little things, and I've got a poinsettia. I always like one of those. So now I want to, maybe I should wait till that's completely dry. I'm going to get some twine. I want to just do some twine down here. I'm going to make it a little longer and maybe tie some knots in it just to make it look a little bit, again, rattier. Maybe a bird found it, was going to put it in their nest, dropped it, and just went on their way again. I love the things that you can find in birds' nests if you've ever found a bird's nest, an empty one that's fallen out of a tree. They're, as you know, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I like to collect those. So, yeah, that looks kind of cool. Let's shorten you up. And shorten you up. Now, I want to break you up so you're ratty looking too. Anyhow, we had some snow and then it melted and it rained, and Dan's side of the family had a Christmas party planned, and then as happens every year when you have little ones, schools put on Christmas concerts, and then before you know it, there's a gastro bug going around. And sure enough, there were children up vomiting the night before the party, and the party got postponed. Sorry. A lot of us older ones, we don't want to be around gastro bugs. And you know what? Sick babies, I must admit, when I was a mommy, the last thing I wanted was to be forcing my sick children to have to be. They just want to be on their couch in their jammies with flat ginger ale and the barf bucket handy with a TV show on. So it just, you know what? Sometimes it works out some years, and some years it doesn't. I remember that well. Golly, with 5 kids, we were lucky the years we could have a get-together and not have somebody sick. It got better when we started homeschooling. My older children, some of them did go to school for a little while. And then I think the oldest were in 2nd grade when we finally said, you know what, let's try. I had some friends who were homeschooling, and I said, let's give it a try. It doesn't mean it's forever. That's the cool thing about homeschooling that a lot of people don't realize. You're not stuck into it. If you decide, let's see if this works for us. If it doesn't work for you, take kids back to school and put them back in. When it came time for high school, some of mine wanted to go and some of them didn't. And they all still went to college or university. One even, here's a little irony for you. One of my homeschooled children became a teacher. So there you go. He decided he loved reading so much that he wanted to become an English teacher. I like that, so that he could just help kids get excited about books and as well music. And he thought initially that I believe he thought he would go for high school level, and he ended up with younger grades, and he's enjoying it very much because he still gets to help get the children excited about reading and excited about, he loves science. He's my little Sheldon. I've always called him my little Sheldon. Well, when I found out about Sheldon, I thought, yeah, that's him. He's a little Sheldon. I think this 3-in-1, I've mentioned it before, yeah. It needs, I think I've thinned it out as many times as it will allow me. You can only do it once or twice. I'm just going to run a thick strand of 3-in-1 down there. Let me lift it up so you can see what I've done. See how I've just run a thick strand of it? Now I'm going to put this onto that. And then I'm just gonna pat at first. I want that lower. There, there, and there. And I may do a bit of hand stitching with maybe some green thread or brown thread so that that looks like it's been hand stitched on. I'm just going to spread this out a bit so that the 3-in-1 is more covered up. But I really felt I needed to use 3-in-1 even though it's shiny and more noticeable than, say, a water-based glue, because I want it to hold better. And plus I can always put a few leaves on it. So maybe some holly leaves. That would also work well. Or some ivy. Oh, yes. I'll have to see if I have any silk. Ivy. I've got holly. I've got these vintage ones. So they're not silk. I think they're plastic, but because they're vintage, they're kind of cool looking. But I don't know if they're way too 3D. Like, I can't flatten that out the way I can flatten out satin. I'll worry about that later. So that looks cool. Now this. Let's see. Anyhow, so wish me luck with the little diva, that we can get her on the mend. Get enough. I'm not ruling out that the antibiotics make her tummy not feel nice. On the other hand, I would think if her tummy wasn't feeling nice, she would not be so perky. And she still wants to go out and play, at least right now. She does. I don't know how long without food she'll be feeling perky. We shall see. I want that holly. Maybe I'll keep berries of preferred. Oh, that's this one. Those are the berries, because these are holly berries. I love saving the Edith corners and putting them on another corner somewhere else, because those who know. People who know and enjoy Edith's book will recognize that corner as an Edith corner. So why waste an Edith corner when you can stick it on the corner of a page just for, or include it in a collage. So I do that quite often. So I'm going to leave a little border. I vary from time to time whether I'm going to fussy cut with a border of paper or goes right to the edge of the illustration. But because this is so dark, I think having a border will look nice and make it stand out better. That's the plan, and if I don't like it, I still have the option of taking the border off and re-fussy cutting. All right, I am going to pause, finish fussy cutting this, and then we'll put it onto the front page. Okay, so I fussy cut everything that I can with scissors, but when you've got a really cool background, it's nice to be able to get as much of these interior pieces out as you can, as you safely can. So I find that the best way to do that is, of course, with a sheet of glass and a craft knife that is pointy like an X-Acto knife as opposed to like a box cutter. It's just easier to see where your knife is going when you use this kind of blade. And you'll have better luck if you can possibly do those turns without lifting up your blade. So it just ends up looking really cool when you can see the background paper through these little, I call them windows, but you know what I mean. But be careful. This can be tricky. Sometimes you have to lift up, whether you like it or not. And sometimes you even have to cut out your little window in several pieces rather than in one piece. We may have to do that at some point, so I'll show you if we have to do that today. So see what I mean? Let me come down a bit. See what I mean, how these windows look better than, that's better. Look better than if you leave the white in there. So I'll move that over and move this here, and we'll get back at it. So we're otherwise ready for Christmas, as far as, you know, little things. We, our grandchildren have a lot of grandparents and aunts and uncles. I mean, it's just a huge family. So we find, at least we're the only grandparents that have 18 grandchildren. The others, when you split them all up, the others have a more manageable number of children to spoil at Christmas time. So we leave that spoiling to them, and we give our grandchildren usually just give them money, because by the end of the day, I don't know about your kids, but my children only knew what Santa gave them and that the rest of that stuff was really awesome, and they really didn't know who gave them what. So the older ones loved getting money. Their grandpa, my father-in-law, always gave money because he was a bachelor, and he wasn't about to start shopping and not knowing what on earth to buy. And he always apologized, and I always reassured him that my kids loved getting, it wasn't a huge amount of money, but it was enough that they could take it and go and get something maybe that Santa didn't bring them for Christmas. So they honestly loved it. So I leave it up to, for the little ones that can't go shopping, I leave it up to the mom and dad to get whatever they didn't receive as a gift. Maybe they need some new snow pants or something, or, you know, most of you have been, if you're not grandparents, you're certainly, most of you have been parents and been through it, or been the aunts and uncles that, what do you get them? Especially with a huge family. It's a blessing, don't get me wrong. It's a wonderful blessing, especially they're healthy and happy. I was so proud of my oldest granddaughter. Last week, she had been saving her money. She has a job and saving her money. And she bought herself, and paid cash, bought herself a car. I am so proud of her. My goodness, I did not own a car at that age. She's 20 years old. And she bought a good car and slapped down cash for it. So she doesn't have payments to make except for her insurance. Here we go. Now, I want holly. But I'm going to use I have these scissors that cut like a decal edge. So I'm going to use them as opposed to taking a risk of trying to tear, or taking a risk and hoping that my decal edged cutting board would get this correct. So let's see what we can do here. So I can decide. I don't need that word "and," so if I have to cut through it, I don't mind, because I'm going to be putting ink around it anyhow. Yeah, like that. I'm going to see if I can bring this up a little bit more. I find these scissors really, this type of scissor, Provo Craft, they really don't cut very well. But these ones I put up with how poorly they cut, because I do like that decal edge. That's still not there. There. Okay, hold on. There. And I'll have to take a picture and post it on Instagram. I hung up that print of the old man with the books and the skull on the table. So I'm very excited about that. Yep, I like that. Let's see. See what I mean about how I planned on doing a dark edge around it, so you can see a little bit of the ink where the word "and" was. It's not going to show. And it bought me a little bit more space for above the word "holly." That might be nice right there. I like when they overlap. I feel like it needs something behind it, and I'm not sure what. But guess what? I'm crossing my fingers. I think we made it to 30 minutes. I guess we'll see when I try to upload it. So this is probably what it's going to look like, but I may use, oh, I wonder if some of this might look cool behind there. If I tear the edge, no, because then you can't see how cool this is. I'm not sure. Oh, I like that. It doesn't have to be fancy, does it? I rather like that. All right, well, I'm going to decide. I'll post a picture on Instagram and you'll get to see what it ultimately ends up looking like, because I'm also going to hand stitch around this twine here and make it look still a little bit more raggedy. So, thanks for joining me today. I think I did it. I think we made it to 32 minutes. 32 minutes. Yay! All right. Have a great rest of your day. And wish me luck with the little miss who's refusing to eat. Take care. Bye.